तपाईको आफ्नै रेडियो स्टेशन रेडियो BGWS। ब्रिटिश गोर्खा वेलफेयर सोसाइटीको प्रसारण शाखा रेडियो BGWS यहाँले सुन्दै हुनुहुन्छ। 11:79 AM श्रोताहरू, तपाईँहरूको सेवामा अब भने म हाजिर भएको छु। म सोनाम शेर्पा। समय 12:18 गइरहेको छ। श्रोताहरू, यहाँ प्रमिला बहिनीलाई साथ दिनु आएको छु। श्रोताहरू, अघि बहिनीले बाचा गरे अनुसार हामीले अहिले स्टुडियोमा निम्ताएका छौँ पेबल प्रोजेक्ट, प्रोस्पेक्ट स्टेट बिग लोकल, पेबल भनिन्छ सर्टमा। यसका कोअर्डिनेटर जुली खान अनि रेसिडेन्स भनौँ, यहाँकै एकजना रेसिडेन्स हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँ चाहिँ बेन डाउटीलाई हामीले स्टुडियोमा बोलाएका छौँ। यो पेबल भन्ने अथवा प्रोस्पेक्ट स्टेट बिग लोकल भन्ने चाहिँ के हो भन्ने विषयमा चाहिँ हामीले यहाँ आज उहाँहरूलाई स्टुडियोमा निम्ताएका छौँ। सर्वप्रथम वेलकम टु आवर शो।
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pebl.
Yes. I'm the Pebl coordinator, and Pebl stands for Prospect Estate Big Local, and Ben is a local resident.
Yeah.
And it's important with this project that we involve residents, because it's the residents who have to decide, in this case, how the lottery money or grant is going to be spent.
All right, Julie, could you tell us about your project, please?
Yes, certainly. Big Local, which is managed by the local trust, was set up to manage lottery funding. 150 urban and rural areas were granted £1 million to spend within the community, and in the process of doing that, the local community have to be involved in the decision making. So my role is to involve the local community, to get them interested in the project, and then to eventually find out how they would like to spend the £1 million grant. And however that is spent, it has to be something that is sustaining, that will go for the next 10 years, that will develop and grow the community. So it has to be very specialised, and we have to go about it in a very careful way to make sure that we're reflecting the views of all the community.
We also have the local resident, Ben Doughty. What do you feel about it? What's your view on this one?
I think it's going to be a great project, getting people involved from all walks of life, and hopefully integrate the community back together again.
Can you tell us about the Prospect Estate? Which particular area it actually covers? Although I've got a map here in front of me, but
Prospect Estate basically covers what we refer to as the flat roof properties. So,
what do you mean by flat roof properties?
The flat roofs, as opposed to the houses that go up in a V, you've got the ones that just flat all the way across, like Lego bricks, for example, as some people describe it. So basically we're talking about for an area coming down Cherrywood Road, Wrenway, going down, including the area down to the brook, going across Mayfield Road, including Kingsley, Housemond, Shelley, Burns Close, coming down including the Oak Farm, or Samuel Cody School as some people call it now, and then coming back in including Ballantyne, Austin Road, and then coming back including the Cherrywood Road, and going back around in a loop again. So all that area inside that zone is part of this project zone.
So why Prospect Estate has been chosen?
I think it's partly because it was identified to be an area where there are lots of social issues, and funding was granted because you have various groups. There's a degree of poverty in the area, so it was felt that would be very, put to very good use. They applied and managed to get the grant, so that's one of the reasons.
Because I think government recognises the Prospect Estate as being one of the 20 areas of being of most poverty in the UK.
How are you planning to execute this one?
Well, the first thing we have to do is to obviously generate interest and to educate people about the project, because so many people don't know what Pebl stands for, which is a start. So we have leaflets out at the moment, posters. Last week we made a film which involved some of the residents and spokespeople on the Prospect Estate. So first of all, we've got to let people know what we're doing and why we're here, and also the fact that it's not local authorities, councils or any other agencies who have to decide how this money is spent.
It's the residents that have
so it's the residents who actually decide.
But through a structured programme or consultation, which is research. So my background is in research. So what I'm hoping to do is get people to come to focus groups where we can explore various options and how they think the money should be spent, and then hopefully do a survey to sort of find out if people agree or disagree with that. So we've got to start somewhere, but the first point is to get people involved, I think.
Because 51% of the decision making has to come from residents for this project.
Well, 51% of the steering group that we have has to be residents. So, we are so dependent on people taking part.
And getting more involved with this project.
So do you have regular sort of meetings or?
We have a meeting once a month, and the next one is...
The next one's going to be May.
First Thursday in May, if I recall correctly. But we can check the website, which is www.pebl, which is PEBL.info.
त श्रोताहरू ब्रिटिस गोर्खा वेलफेयर सोसाइटीको प्रसारण शाखा रेडियो BGWS यहाँले सुन्दै हुनुहुन्छ 1179 AM मा। त श्रोताहरू अहिले हाम्रो स्टुडियोमा हुनुहुन्छ प्रोस्पेक्ट स्टेट बिग लोकल पेबल प्रोजेक्टका कोअर्डिनेटर जुली खान अनि यहाँका रेसिडेन्ट्स मिस्टर बेन डाउटी हुनुहुन्छ। तपाईँ नि अहिले यो कुरा बुझ्दा चाहिँ के बुझ्यो भने चाहिँ यो जति पनि प्रोस्पेक्ट स्टेट भने चाहिँ यो प्रोस्पेक्ट एउटा सानो एरिया रहेछ अनि त्यो एरियामा चाहिँ फ्ल्याट प्रुफ भएको भनौँ ठाउँहरू अलिकति छानिएको जस्तो अनि यो ठाउँमा चाहिँ धेरै सोसियल इस्युजहरू हुन कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ यहाँबाट चाहिँ जस्टिफिकेसन गरेर चाहिँ गभर्मेन्टकोबाट चाहिँ 1 मिलियन पाउन्ड चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ पैसा पाएको रहेछ र यहाँको रेसिडेन्ट्सहरूलाई चाहिँ तपाईहरुको मिलाएर उहाँलाई संलग्न गराएर योलाई चाहिँ कसरी चाहिँ राम्रो प्रकारले चाहिँ काम लगाउन सकिन्छ भन्नेको विषयमा चाहिँ एउटा यो प्रोजेक्ट गर्ने बुझ्यो हैन पनि जसमा चाहिँ कोअर्डिनेटर जुली खान हुनुहुन्छ र रेसिडेन्ट्स हाम्रो बेन जस्तो मान्छेहरु हुनुहुन्छ र उहाँले के भन्नुहुँदैछ भने यसमा चाहिँ यो प्रोजेक्टलाई अगाडि लानुपर्छ अनि यसको अवेयरनेस बढाउनको लागि चाहिँ अहिले हामी रेडियोमा आएका छौं श्रोताहरु र यो प्रोस्पेक्ट स्टेटको विषयमा हामीले कुरा गर्दै छौं वेलकम ब्याक अगेन सो जस्ट conversing in Nepali so that we can actually get your message across. Yes. How does it affect the Nepalese community?
The Nepalese community, as obviously there is a high population of Nepalese people on the Prospect Estate.
Yeah, about 15% we understand.
15%.
Yes. So therefore, it is essential that whatever plan we come up with to how to spend the money has to represent the views of the whole community. So we want to involve the Nepalese community in that process.
By communicating with you via the radio and the British Gurkha Welfare Office and the likes of the ESOL classes, English as Second Language groups that meet on the estate.
Have they been participating in any of the meetings or...?
They have been participating.
Yes, we've had a couple of people that have turned up. We've got one of your locals that does attend the meetings, but he's currently away for a 3-month holiday back home in Nepal. He's due back, I think, for the next meeting.
And we're involving, as I mentioned, there's a youth community worker who has helped me with translation, who is also going to be, Ash, who is going to be involved as well. So we are trying to, represent views and to translate all our promotional literature and so forth. But obviously we'd like to improve that situation and, have people sort of come forward maybe. And we have our open day this Saturday, which would be a really good opportunity for people to see what we're doing, come and chat with us and, see if they can help us really.
आदरणीय श्रोताबिन हामीले अहिले यहाँ जुली खानको कुरा उहाँको कुरा बुझ्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामीले यो आउने शनिबार चाहिँ यहाँनिर ओपन डे हुन गइरहेको रहेछ र तपाईहरु कुनै पनि कसैजना अब यो भोलिन्टियरको लागि हैन दाजु यो इंग्लिश अलिकति राम्रो बुझ्नेले चाहिँ हामीले उहाँहरुसँग हामी मिलेर र यो हाम्रो लोकल एरियामा चाहिँ यो अहिले उहाँहरुले के गर्न गइरहेको छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ हामीले यो शनिबारको ओपन डे मा तपाईहरु आउन सक्नुहुन्छ र तपाईहरुले चाहिँ भोलिन्टियरको रूपमा तपाईले पनि जुली खानहरुसँग मिलेर हामी काम गर्न सक्छौं हैन दाजु.
It's at the Prospect Centre.
So Prospect Centre
which is at the front of the Totlands Flats. So where the bus stop is, there's like a white conservatory building. It's in there. There'll be some balloons and some banners outside.
It should have balloons outside, an arch of balloons, so that people can see where we are.
What time is it?
10 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's open house. Just drop in when you like for as long as you like.
Okay.
I believe there might be tea and coffee as well.
Yeah, could you tell us your postcode, please?
It's basically the Prospect Centre on Mayfield Road.
It's very, very easy. It's very easy to find. You know, the shop
outside Totlands, where the post office is.
It's right next door to that, so it's really, really easy to find.
All right.
Yes.
त श्रोताहरू तपाईँले अहिले सुन्नुभयो यो अब ओपन डे हुँदैछ आउनुहोस् 10 बजी बिहान 10 o'clock हैन सुरु हुँदैछ जुनी खानुहुन्छ रेसिडेन्ट्सहरु बेनहरु हुनुहुन्छ आउनुहोस् टी कफी पिउनुहुन्छ तपाईहरुले त्यहाँ आएर 1 million pound is a big amount of money, isn't it?
It's a large amount of money.
So do you have to spend it, there is a time limit or anything?
It's a 10-year project with the idea of spending it over the period of time and maybe finding other ways that we can tap into other funds so as to try and boost it as well, with the idea of hopefully making it self-sustaining to continue it on beyond 10 years.
So what are the areas you are looking at? You know?
At the moment, I mean, we're just sort of hoping to tap into, talking to the community to find out what those areas are. I mean, people have mentioned where there are needs, but as I said, it has to be something that is going to be sustaining over a period of time. So something that the residents can then carry on and, I mean, it could be a building, it could be, a community centre, a community cafe. Play facilities, it could be classes to enable people, say, to better themselves.
Could be job clubs. The idea of doing a consultation with residents, so to find out what they want.
So you're at the moment in the process of, getting their views.
Starting to consult.
Just started. I'm in post for 9 months. That's my contract, and I started on March the 6th. So at the moment, it's just a case of trying to generate interest and awareness of the project. So, we're hoping to start the consultation further down the line.
Every step we go, we seem to be learning something new. Sometimes we're making mistakes and we've got to correct it. And
So बहिनी के कुरा बुझ्यो भने चाहिँ यहाँनिर अहिले यसो कुरा बुझ्दाखेरि चाहिँ उहाँले प्रोस्पेक्ट जुन चाहिँ यो स्टेटको लागि 1 million pound पाएको छ ओभर अ पिरियड अफ 10 years सस्टेन गर्नुपर्छ अनि त्यति मात्रै अहिले उहाँहरू कुन स्टेजमा हुनुहुन्छ उनीहरू प्लानिङ स्टेजमा हुनुहुन्छ हैन र बहिनी र अहिले चाहिँ रेसिडेन्ट्सहरुसँग लोकलसँग मिटिङहरु राखेर चाहिँ यो पैसालाई चाहिँ हाउ डु दे वान्ट टु स्पेन्ड अनि केमा खर्च गर्ने विषयमा चाहिँ अहिले प्लान भइरहेको छ श्रोताहरु तपाईहरु आउनुहोस् स्याटरडेको दिन यहाँ ओपन हाउस हुन्छ तपाईहरुको विचार के छ विमर्शहरु छ व्यक्त गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ जुली हुनुहुन्छ यहाँ हाम्रो बेन हुनुहुन्छ है
हामीले हाम्रो नेपाली कम्युनिटीको लागि हामीले के गर्न सक्छौं यो समयमा हैन दाजु हामीलाई आवश्यक भएको कुराहरु उहाँहरुसँग हामी राख्न सक्छौं र पोसिबल भए हामीले उहाँहरुबाट हामी केही सुविधाहरु पाउन सक्छौं हैन दाजु डेफिनेटली
I was just looking at your brochure here and you are collecting cine films photos and memorabilia. Can you tell us about that one?
Yes, the reason we've decided to go for a look at history of Prospect Estate is because we felt there was a need to generate some sort of community spirit and interest in the area because it's an unusual area that there are a lot of transient people that are here, maybe haven't been here very long.
And they don't know nothing about the area at all, maybe.
So we wanted to generate, give some knowledge about the area and the history, and then we can hopefully move forward and tell people how would you like to see it changing over the next 10 years. So that's our starting point.
Yeah, it's like there's a blank page. That's the future.
That was very interesting because just last week I bumped into a gentleman who came over here. He was looking for the old grammar school. Maybe it's part of your project or maybe it's something trying to...
What I should say also is that our first step would be to draw up the community profile, which is to identify the various groups, and then we go forward to make a community plan. So that's what all the people in these 150 areas, they all have to do their community profile and then a community plan so that it represents what is within the community.
So if someone out there is running a group, can they let us know so that we can put it into the community profile? Because we don't know everything that's out there. You seem to talk to one person, talk to another person, and they tell you something new.
It has to be collective sort of effort, isn't it?
Yes, because there are lots of societies that some people aren't aware of. So say somebody says, for example, we want a group for young mothers. In fact, that could already exist. So we've got to isolate what is around already and not obviously apply the money to something that's already there.
Or they might want some healthy living thing, when then you've got Rushmore Healthy Living that's already working on the estate. We could help filter those people to what's already out there.
Have you actually identified anything that you think is top of the list which has not been already provided for? There is a great need for that.
There seems to be a lack of facilities for the older teens going into their 20s, and then likewise there seems to be something, I think, missing for like the older pensioner sort of age group.
So that is the area you would be looking at, isn't it?
There seems to be a lot for the like 15 years and down.
The youths are,
in particular.
There's obviously the gaming zone,
Yeah.
but that is just things that have come up in the process that people have suggested.
Different things we're discovering on this journey.
We just need numbers really to, and to see.
So what are the other avenues they are looking at to promote the interest? Like one is like you are here at the radio station.
The Open Day is a big
one.
This is a big event for us, and then we're also going to be involved in other people's events. Like we're hoping to have the big lunch, which is going to be further on in June, isn't it, Ben? It's
supposed to be the first Sunday in June.
It's more of a charity lunch, or just.
It's sort of funded from the big lottery, but it's being run by the Mayfield Community Partnership, which is another community-based thing on this estate that operates. We've got a Facebook page. We've also got a Twitter account. Twitter is prospect_BL. But again, if you go via the website, which is www.pebl, which is PEBL.info, there's different details on there about the Twitter and the Facebook. And
we should say that First Wessex are supporting us in this in terms of, generally all sorts of admin support and managing, the process as well.
And I think a lot of councillors are helping us on this journey as well.
Julie, can you tell me about Big Local? What is Big Local?
Big Local is one of the divisions of that's taking care of allocating lottery funding. So there are various sort of arms of that, and Big Local is the one that is concerned with the local trusts. So that's how.
So ultimately, this money has come about from people going down to the garage, for example, buying a lottery or a lucky dip ticket, and then playing the game. And obviously, some money is paid out to the winners, and some money is held back, or like your scratch cards again. And then over time, that money has built up. And then they've now got funds there, so it's then divided out over 150 areas across the UK.
And there are various, obviously, charities can apply for grant funding from the lottery. So there are various, lots of different charities are applying for funding, and they'll decide whether or not they feel that it's justified or not.
The reason I was asking why is because we run a charity and goodwill as well, so we want volunteer. Maybe thinking about.
We are thinking about our radio station.
I
think it's a bit selfish.
Again, with this project, the idea is to maybe at some point in the future, possibly, again, if residents say so, that we can maybe create a community funding chest, so that maybe even like yourselves, who's a charity, or the Scouts, the Guides, the Gaming Zone, the Mayfield Community Partnership, all the other different groups that meet in the area, maybe they will be able to, in the future, be able to apply to Pebl, which is part of the local trust. So maybe apply and see if they can be lucky to maybe get some funds in the future. But again, it depends what the residents want us to do with the money, because it's resident-led, resident-driven.
I think it's good that the lottery money is put to such a good use, isn't it? Because when people, obviously they don't win, they're disappointed, but actually their money is going to help so many different causes and charities. Yes, really good.
Yes, good one.
As the coordinator, you must have received quite a lot of proposals, what are the thoughts of what they want to spend the money on. But Ben, how do you want that money to spend on? Do you have any suggestions on that one?
I think the big thing is going to be getting people talking within the community, like what you would have seen, sort of like going back, for example, to the Blitz, when people were out there and the community spirit was really thriving, and we want to try and turn the clock back to get people talking, get to know their neighbours and integrate better and understand what.
I think that's the good thing about this whole process with the lottery funding, is that it is dependent on getting everyone together, because no one else can make the decisions, so everyone has to work together. So it's a really good idea
to make this happen.
Yes, yeah.
Looking at your brochure here, take a walk through the swinging 60s to the noughties.
Yes. Just
is it really walking down the memory lane? Is it?
This estate, I'd imagine, was probably first dreamt up probably in the 1950s. So you talk about sort of just after the war, where the Gurkha welfare office is, on that same side of the road. All those houses there were the original planned design of the house. So it's for the whole of the estate, which is supposed to have originally been a private estate. And apparently the land was originally bought for £1 back in the 1950s, 1960s.
£1.
£1.
Oh my God.
But the builder that built those houses went bust, and then those properties became part of the local housing association. And then 5 years later, some of those residents got the chance to buy them back in 1966, roughly, for about £8,000. And then the rest of the estate slowly got built by a new builder, and we've seen bits and pieces added on over time.
But we were hearing that the people that came from London were, sort of sent here for housing from slum housing in London.
From the old GLC.
The old GLC, which
was that during the Bleach? Or?
No, that was later. That was later. The 60s, was it?
I think the GLC was formed after World War II. I think before that it was something called LCC, which I think stands for London City Council.
And they said that the people that were sent here from London obviously felt very sort of missing home and what are they doing here? But they were treated, some of them were treated quite badly, and there were even signs in the shop saying no GLC here.
Yeah. Because obviously London was blitzed, like we were saying earlier. They needed housing and needed housing stock, so they had to go to the suburbs and the urban areas to go and build these new housing estates. And this being one of them.
On the positive side, when we made the film, we spoke to someone who was sort of evacuated or sent from London, and he said that he couldn't believe the open fields and the space, and he loved it, from being in a cramped sort of development in central London as a boy to see all the fields and space to run around. So it was a real big sort of difference for lots of people who came here.
Quite interesting, isn't it? Because this project, Pebl, is actually now indirectly trying to restore the history as well, isn't it?
Yeah, because like this week I've also learnt and heard a story going back to like 1962, 63-ish, where apparently a black large panther was seen down by the park on Waterers Lane. And all the zoos and so forth were contacted to see if they had a loose black cat on the loose. But no one came up with any answers.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. This Pebl project is not looking into the future. You're going back in the past as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got to find out where we came from with this project.
Historical.
And then take it forwards again. And then likewise hand this project over to our youth of today, because they're going to be the future. And they've got to look after it and carry it forwards.
त श्रोताहरू ब्रिटिश गोर्खा वेलफेयर सोसाइटीको प्रसारण शाखा रेडियो BGWS यहाँले सुन्दै हुनुहुन्छ 11:79 मा स्टुडियोमा आज हाम्रो अतिथि हुनुहुन्छ जुली खान, कोअर्डिनेटर पेबल प्रोस्पेक्ट स्टेट पिग लोकल, जसको विषयमा हामी बात मारिरहेका छौँ। अनि हाम्रो बेन डाउटी पनि हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँ यहाँ लोकल उसमा हुनुहुन्छ, यहाँको लोकल रेसिडेन्ट पनि हुनुहुन्छ। र हामीले यो हैन बहिनी यो प्रोस्पेक्टलाई कति राम्रो हैन, यो प्रोस्पेक्टको यो जुन चाहिँ प्रोजेक्ट छ यसले फ्युचर मात्र नै हेरेर पास्ट पनि गइरहेछ, पास्ट ग्लोरी, पास्टको कुराहरू पनि भइरहेको छ, भविष्य फ्युचर दुईटा कुरा हुन्छ। अनि यसले के गर्छ, मान्छेले इन्टिग्रेट गर्ने पनि हामीलाई भनौँ न एउटा कर्तव्य जस्तो भइरहेछ, इन्टिग्रेट गरेर बाँच्नु सँगसँगै बाँच्नुपर्छ भन्ने हैन। र हाम्रो यहाँ टेलिफोन नम्बर है, यसको गर्दाखेरि एड्रेस के छ भने कसरी चाहिँ तपाईँले चाहिँ पेबलसँग टच गर्नुपर्छ भन्नुहुन्छ, पेबलसँग चाहिँ तपाईँले कन्ट्याक्ट गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ भने एड्रेस चाहिँ छ PEPLE कम्युनिटी कोअर्डिनेटर CML कोडी स्पोर्ट्स कलेज, वेबसाइट www.pebl.info, इमेल एड्रेस prospectstate.bl@gmail.com। फेरि पनि भन्छु, इमेल prospectstate.bl@gmail.com। अनि टेलिफोन नम्बर रहेको छ 07879384014, नेपालीमा भन्छु 07879384014।
Alternatively, they can also come down to the Gurkha Welfare Office here in Renway and speak to one of the guys down here, the guys on the radio here with us today, or go and speak to Chatra Rai, and they can also pass on the information to one of us as well.
Any final words?
No, just hoping that people will help us and support us and have their voice heard. that's it really.
Thank you very much,
Thank you as well for
Julie
your time
and
today.
Ben. But you
Thank you so
are
much.
more than welcome to come back again to, if you have any updates and anything, please
we would
do
like to
contact
take
us.
this further and as we
Maybe
step further forward.
maybe a couple of weeks time or a
Yeah,
month's
that
time,
would be
please
great.
do come in. And if
Yeah.
you have made any progress, if you want our help or do you want to broadcast anything, please feel free to contact us.
Yeah,
Okay.
will do. Thank you
Great.
very much.
Okay, then. Thank you very much.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you.